up on the phone. And she turned to me out of nowhere and she said, so you're going to make me listen to that the whole flight? And I said, well, do you want to? And she said, no. And I said,
you make her listen to what?
am I going to make her listen to my phone?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I said, this is before we took off. Yes, even before we took off.
So you guys were in Las Vegas when it happened?
Yes. Yeah.
The plane was on the ground?
Yes.
The door was shut? It was, okay.
No, the door wasn't shut. People were still boarding.
People were still boarding?
Oh, okay. Texting me.
Okay, I couldn't tell. Okay. So she was like, are you going to make me listen to that the whole time? I said, well, do you want to? And she said, no. I said, well, it was a nicer way to say that. And she said, bitch, you don't tell me bitch. And I was like,
you okay?
I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm just telling him what happened.
I'm so sorry.
It's all
If
right.
there's anything I can do to help you.
You were sitting near us?
I was.
Yeah, I was just telling
I was
him.
there and I heard it was unreprehensible. The woman got in your face and gave you the middle finger.
Yeah.
And was doing things that were completely chaotic to you.
She started screaming.
I'm embarrassed. I'm so sorry.
It's all right.
That's why I'm asking if you're okay.
Yes, no, I appreciate it.
I wouldn't be okay.
I mean,
all right, welcome in, tap in. This is something I just recently ran through over the internet. This is a story about Porsha Williams. The I always call she's just so pretty, but it seems to me that she was harassed and she was attacked. It seems like a little bit of she had to go through a little bit of mental anguish by this Karen in the airport. Porsha is better than me. To the point where you go to watching the story to see one of the passengers like literally stop and be like, "Hey, are you okay?" It says it. So people sometimes these Karens they feel like they whiteness is a limited credit card. But I'm glad to see that this white lady rest over here to the right of this picture, whatever. You know what I'm saying? She at least came and made recognition of like the shit was fucked up. So we're gonna let TYT, one of my favorite Dr. Richie, break this down for us and let's see what really happened. And we're gonna go back. Check this out.
How are you doing, ma'am?
I'm not very good, sir, and you?
Good. I'm Officer Brumant. I work with the Atlanta Police Department.
Great.
So I heard about the incident that happened, but I haven't heard your side of the story.
Why didn't we hear my side of the story first, sir?
Well, I had another officer
Oh, okay. Well,
spoke to you, but I just want to hear it
and do you
personally.
think it's proper to me tell you the whole story where everybody's sitting around here, they can all hear it?
No, ma'am. If you want to be private,
I think we should be private,
Okay.
sir. This is an assault
okay.
matter.
You want to come over?
Yes. I was sitting in my seat. She was the last passenger to come on board. So when she came on board,
Atlanta, Georgia is in the eastern
she said, I'm in that seat. I said, no problem. I jumped up, got far away from her so she had plenty of room. She had to put stuff in the upstairs thing. I understand that. Took plenty of time. Sit back down. We never spoke other than that. And after about 25 minutes of her on Instagram, full blast, every time she would flip, because apparently it was from a loud place, I jumped because it was so loud. And so I waited 25 minutes, give her time, let her do whatever she needed to do. And then I said, am I going to have to listen to that the whole time? And she said, do you like it? And I said, no. And she said, well, I don't like the way you ask me. I said, don't put this on me. And the next thing I know, there was a fingernail so close to my eye that I thought I was going to be physically attacked. She had I don't want to do it to you, sir. She had her hands in my face, screaming, calling me crazy, on and on and on. So now the flight attendants can't come help me because they're strapped in for this takeoff. My phone is sitting against my leg on my lap. So I take it to video to try and protect myself. And as soon as I go like this, she takes her hand and goes like that and throws my phone, and everybody sees the phone.
See, you see, these right here. Let me turn this down just a little bit, I think. This right here is what you call, these are the Karen tears. These are the tears, these fake ass tears. These are the tears that got Emmett Till killed. These are the tears that has gotten whole black communities burned down. I feel like when we see shit like this, we need to find out. They need to get their ass locked up for lying. You know, glad that Portia's okay, but this raggedy slew-footed motherfucker right here is already crying tears of desperation, and she knows she lying. Let's go.
Down the end of the whole airplane, and the flight attendant told me he saw her knock it out of my hand. And that's assault. And
So
I'm
she
70 years old.
So she actually knocked the phone off your
You're
hand.
damn right she did.
Okay.
You say 25 minutes. She was on Instagram. You sure it wasn't 30 or 20 or maybe 22? 25 minutes. This person had the audacity to be on IG. And then this Karen posed a rude ass question, and how dare the person return the favor? This is a bit of irony because the person in question, who is being falsely accused of assault, is Porsha Williams. Here's her side.
What happened?
So the lady who was sitting next to me, I was on my phone, and the volume was up on the phone, and she turned to me out of nowhere and she said, "So you're gonna make me listen to that the whole flight?" And I said, "Well, do you want to?" And she said, "No." And I
She will
said,
make you listen to her?
"Am I gonna make her listen to my phone?"
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I said, "This is before we took off." Yes, even before we took off.
So you guys were in Las Vegas when it happened?
Yes. Yeah.
The plane was on the ground?
Yes.
The door was shut? It was? Okay.
No, the door wasn't shut yet. People were still boarding.
People were still boarding?
Oh, okay.
Texting me.
Oh, okay, I couldn't tell.
Okay.
So she was like, are you gonna make me listen to that the whole time? And I said, "Well, do you want to?" And she said, "No." I said, "Well, there's a nicer way to say that." And she said, "Bitch, you don't tell me bitch." And I was like,
Are you okay?
"I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm just telling him what happened."
I'm so sorry.
And so it's all
If
right.
there's anything I can do to help
Yeah,
you.
you were sitting near us.
I was.
Yeah, I was just telling
I was
him.
there and I heard it was unreprehensible. The woman got in your face and gave you the middle finger.
Yeah.
And was doing things that were completely
She was. She started screaming.
I'm embarrassed. I'm so sorry.
It's all right.
That's why I'm asking if you're okay.
Yes, no, I appreciate it.
I wouldn't be okay.
I mean, I don't know what she's claiming. She's gonna press charges saying that I hit her. I'm like, I did not hit
I
you.
mean, you want to continue? You want to continue, ma'am?
Sorry.
Can you excuse me?
Okay, can I get your information? Can you get your information as a witness?
Sure.
Yeah, please. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
I was sitting 2 rows back. She did not touch
No,
me.
that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
You saw everything happen?
Yes.
Yes.
The guy's seat had his
See, I am thankful that you see white people are not a monolith. You know what I'm saying? So even they get tired of seeing the racist ass bullshit. Now this woman is prepared. Like you seen in the beginning, right? She told the police officer, "Why you didn't come to me first?" Because she feels privileged, bitch. Like I'm the white woman and I'm the one that's you know, and it's fucking sad. But with black people, we always have to overprove and overdo anything to make sure that we're safe, even when we're in the right and we're getting did wrong. Shout out to Porsha, pretty lady, for holding down. Cause bitch, I couldn't be your friend. Cause I've been took that charge. I've been smacked her in the mouth on a plane ride, and I'd be crying and suing the airline for harassment, racism. Cause it's Karen. She crazy. Let's go.
reclined before the flight even took off, and I saw the entire gap. She did not touch
You didn't touch her.
She's screaming.
You hit me in my face. I can tell you. She did not. I could see her.
I can write my info down.
Officer, it seems like the original crime was filing a false police report, sir. I think you need to double back and go in the airport and figure out the hell's going on here and arrest the real culprit. Full disclosure, I know Porsha Williams, put her up for a mask. A remarkable human being. And during a really sensitive time in Atlanta, when we had protests because of out of control policing and policies, during the George Floyd protest. Guess who was front and center? That woman right there. She came to my press conferences. She stood at the Capitol. She came to the local jail. She demanded the arrest of officers. Right there. Not much fanfare, but she was present and vocal. We appreciate her for that. So when I saw this, the characterization that the initial individual, let's call her the Karen, made against Porsha, I said, that doesn't sound like Porsha at all. She's actually a very nice human being. Okay, all right. Real Housewives, Atlanta star Porsha Williams had a terrible encounter traveling that resulted in her being escorted off the plane following an onboard dispute with a 70-year-old Karen seated next to her before takeoff. She was next to an OG Karen. All right, that Karen in this city runs deep. Officers collected statements from both women. Williams shared her side of the story. Quote, so the lady was sitting next to me. I was on my phone, Williams explained to the officers. And the volume was up on the phone, and she returned to me out of nowhere and said, so you're going to make me listen to that the whole flight? And I said, well, do you want to? And she said, no. I said, well, there was a nicer way to say that. And she said, B word, you don't tell me B word, end quote.
She really wanted to say nigger bitch. That's what she wanted to say. But she said bitch. But I'll see it. Let me tell you something. You know what? You know what? I'll get Porsha, you handled it really well, baby. You did. You did. You must have I don't even know Porsha, y'all, but I could imagine that Porsha probably has a real nice attitude. See, my girlfriends, we've been friends for 20 years, and I get in trouble because ooh, we Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Oh God, y'all hear this shit. All right, let's go.
Williams continued. She also claims that this all occurred before the flight from Las Vegas to Atlanta took off as people were still boarding the plane. Other passengers from the same flight appeared to come to Williams' defense. They were not asked. They were not mandated. They just said, wait a minute, hold on. You say what? No, that's not what happened. And they spoke up. One woman who was sitting near Williams on the flight stopped to pose the reality star a question. Are you okay? Inquiring if there was anything she could do to help. Quote, I was there and I heard it was unreprehensible. The passenger shared. Quote, she got in your face, gave you the middle finger. A male passenger sitting 2 rows back who says he witnessed the whole thing also told officers Williams, quote, did not touch her, end quote. According to the woman, Williams boarded last, spent roughly 25 minutes scrolling on Instagram with her phone on full blast before she finally said something, sparking their tense exchange. Quote, then I said, am I going to have to listen to that the whole time? And she said, do you like it? And I said, no. And she said, well, I don't like the way you asked me. I said, don't put this on me. See, that's where you're lying, according to the allegation, Karen, right there. According to the allegation, you called her the B word twice. That's point for record. The 70-year-old explained, quote, and the next thing I know, there was a fingernail so close to my eye that I thought I was going to be, I'm sorry.
She thought she was finna. She started crying. Now Porsha she didn't call a woman a bitch. Then got bold, ready to fight, ready to throw down. You know what I'm saying? Then told her to turn her phone down, who she thinks she talking to. Now she did all that. Now the police there. Oh my God. Her fingernail. Oh God. It was so close to my face. I thought she was gonna cut out my eyeball. You know what I'm saying? Bitch. Nah, man. Nah, man.
Porsha does have long fingernails. So there was a fingernail so close to my eye that I thought I was going to be physically attacked. She had her hands in my face, screaming, calling me crazy. End quote. The woman went on to claim, with flight attendants strapped in for takeoff and unable to intervene, that Williams then, when the flight attendants could not help, that's when she slapped the phone out of her hand as she attempted to record the incident, quote, to try and protect herself, causing the phone to fall into the aisle. Quote, that's assault, she added. Quote, I'm 70 years old. And here's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid she's going to have me killed. Y'all, I didn't make that up. She actually said, I did not make that part up. She said, put it back up. She said, I'm 70 years old. And here's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid she's going to have me killed. And ma'am, how do we go from a fingernail alleged attempted assault to a murder for hire? That took a dramatic change in the narrative that she gave to police. So the Atlanta FBI, I'm telling you the truth, y'all.
Lord, not the FBI done got involved. Yeah, I didn't watch. I'm watching this with y'all, so I am having actually a live reaction, and I am over here. My flabber is gassed. Let's go.
FBI is involved. So the Atlanta FBI has reportedly investigated the incident and says they are, quote, looking to see whether any federal charges may or may not apply. Meanwhile, Williams' lawyer told People magazine that the star was verbally assaulted by an irate and unhinged passenger without provocation. As far as my opinion goes, that sounds about right. Okay. Jordan.
Well, people, there you have it. Porsha did come out with no scratches, no harm, foul. Thank gosh, it was plenty of witnesses there that could prove what was going on. We're so glad she's safe. But yeah, this Karen got what she deserved. Shout out to Dr. Richie. That smile, after this and seeing the Karen, it's all worth it. So racism is very expensive, and stupidity pays a very high price. All right, hit like and subscribe, leave a comment, tell me what you think. Bye bye.